Hey guys, welcome back to another impressions video. This time around for this game right here, Super Mario 3D World for the Nintendo Wii U. And behold the latest masterpiece in the gaming industry right here, because this game is absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. It's worth having a Wii U for this game for sure, especially if you're a Mario fan. But let me just start off by saying that this game has that same magic that games like Super Mario World or Super Mario Brothers 3 have. For me personally, this game right here is responsible for me becoming a enthusiast, in games, Super Mario World. And I played games like, I played the NES before. I played Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, but it wasn't until I played Super Mario World that I really felt that magic in a game. It was I was a kid, and the colors, the level design, the presentation, the soundtrack, it was the perfect combination of everything that created that magic effect. That it's similar to when you watch a Disney classic movie for the first time. They're just different and have a special touch that separates them from other conventional cartoon movies. So that same Disney magic, I guess, games like Mario World were able to create for me, and made me fall in love with games. And this game right here has the same effect. And if you have if I was like 6 or 7 years old, kid in the present time, then this game would evoke the same emotions that Super Mario World did to me back in the day. And if you have kids or grandkids or little nephews or cousins, whatever, make sure they play this game, because it's just the perfect way to introduce somebody to gaming. And if you're a seasoned veteran platformer or Nintendo or Mario fan like I am, you're gonna be right at home as well, because this game is it's really a celebration of the Mario franchise, in the sense that this game takes elements from previous Mario games. For example, you get to choose between 4 players, between Peach, Mario, Toad, and Luigi to play the game, which I guess it's a resemblance to to the Mario Brothers 2 for the NES, in which you were also able to choose your own character. And it's pretty cool because it offers a added layer of gameplay, in the sense that each character has its own unique abilities. For example, Mario is the most balanced character. Peach, she can float in the air, so she's perfect for newcomers, since you have an added precision when jumping and hovering in the air. But at the same time, she's the slowest character. Then you have Luigi, who he can jump higher, but his physics are a little bit more slippery, so you have less control. And finally, you have Toad, which is the fastest character. I don't think he can jump as high as the other characters in the game, but he's the fastest, so he's perfect for expert players that are trying to do a speed run throughout the levels. And speaking of speed runs, this game has a pretty cool feature where you can activate ghost data, and you can see the ghost data from friends or other people online, so you can compare scores or speed runs between other players in the world. So it has that Mario Brothers 2 character selection novelty, but the presentation itself feels like a Super Mario World game, just because of the use of colors, and the way they name the levels after certain things. And also the power-ups in this game, some of them are were the ones introduced in the new Super Mario Brothers series, so it also has elements from that series. Some of the levels are designed similarly to the Galaxy games, and of course, there's a lot of similarities between this game and this game right here, which is Super Mario 3D Land, and it almost feels like a sequel. And I absolutely love 3D Land for the 3DS. In fact, is my favorite 3DS game. So this game follows the same formula, in the sense that it blends side-scrolling platforming with 3D platforming. a little bit heavier on a little bit of a heavier emphasis on the 3D platforming in this game. But I mean, that combination just works so well. If it was up to me, I would much rather have Nintendo keep making this type of game instead of like an open world or a Galaxy type game. I really enjoy the way the level design for these two games right here, it's performed. And Mario 3D World takes what 3D Land did, but in a much better way, because each level in this game is so unique. It's really amazing. This game really, I have to say, hands down, it has probably the best level design out of any 3D platformer I ever played in my life, because the levels are so varied. There are no two levels that look or play alike. And there's always something new in each level, something that you're not really expecting, if you will. Even for games like Super Mario 64, which, they were revolutionary when they came out back in, 96, 97. At some extent, you were expecting to see the same things repeated in some of the levels or in some of the stars that you were trying to get. With Mario 3D World, nothing is the same. It's just the level design and the presentation is fantastic, and it just keeps you wanting. You want to keep playing this game more and more. And I have to say that, despite the very easy earlier worlds, which I think this may be a turn-off for some people, because I know a lot of people complain that 3D Land was a little bit on the easy side, and 3D World is even easier, especially in the early worlds. For me personally, that's not a turn-off, because the level design is so good that even though the game is easy peasy, you can still just enjoy going through the level and admiring how their design and the way they're presented and the colors. And for me, it's a joy to play. In fact, every level that I played in this game, I just had a smile on my face from beginning to end. It's the type of game that it has that magical effect that really creates an everlasting experience. Now, I do have to give a disclaimer that I have not fully beaten the game yet, and this is not a spoiler or anything, but as you guys may already know, games, in the Mario series, and especially the 3D platformer ones, you beat Bowser, and then something else happens, and a new set of new levels are unlocked, or secret levels are unlocked. So I'm at that point where I beat the first major boss fight or ending, if you will, and a new set of levels were unlocked. So I have not fully beaten the game yet, and I'm suspecting that I haven't even scratched the surface of this. So I'm really excited to keep on playing this game and enjoying its gorgeous visuals and the soundtrack in this game. Oh my god, it's so good. And I know I may be sounding right now like a fanboy, but truly, this game is truly remarkable. I really loved the game. Now, if I do have to find some small negative points, if you will, one of them is that we're in 2013, and this game would have been great if it had online multiplayer, because it's really hard for me nowadays. I come off from work and I just don't have the same amount of friends like I used to do when I was in high school or whatever, or in college, and it's really hard to get a 4-player co-op game going for this game right here. So it would have been nice if Nintendo added a online co-op, which is real disappointing. I think we're in 2013. We definitely have the technology to see that happening, but this game unfortunately does not have that. And it's a shame, because I did play this 2-player co-op with the lady, and it's pretty damn fun. So I can only imagine that with 4 players, things can get even more fun, more hectic. And the game has this scoring system where at the end of each level, each player gets individually ranked, and whoever has the most points wins the level, if you will. So it's a shame that this game doesn't have online co-op, but that's a very small gripe. And I do have to say that if you plan on playing this game on single player, don't be afraid to do so, because that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. And the game is great. Some levels, they do feel like they were designed around that 4-player co-op local experience, but they really don't take off from the actual experience. I mean, if you play this game single player, you'll be fine. Another cool addition is the clear pipes. In this game, it's a staple of the Mario series, going through the green pipes, and they warp you to a different location in the map. And in this game, they introduced the clear pipes, which is pretty cool. It's really fun navigating through them, and they just add a new fresh touch, if you will. And as I mentioned, this is a celebration of previous Mario games, so expect to see a lot of old school power-ups. But the game also has new ones, such as the cat suit, which is right here in the back, and it makes the game a little bit easier in the sense that you can climb up walls, you can attack enemies using the cat suit, scratching them or whatever. But again, it's optional. If you don't wanna use the cat suit, then you're more than welcome to switch to a different power up, or not get the cat power up. But in some levels, it's essential, especially if you're looking after the 3 hidden green stars. Each level has 3 hidden green stars, and that's where the challenge actually ramps up, especially in the later levels, where if you're trying to 100% complete the levels, some of the green stars are pretty well hidden, and or in pretty tough to reach locations. So the game definitely ramps up in challenge later on. So for those of you that are a little bit skeptical about the difficulty of the game, there is some challenge, but as it's typical with all Mario games, they start off really easy, because after all, this is a family friendly franchise that it's aimed towards sometimes the younger audiences out there. So the game starts off really easy, but again, it's just about enjoying those easy levels. Take your time, just enjoy the presentation, enjoy the level design, and you're gonna be good to go. As I mentioned, the controls are typical Mario. You run with Y, you jump with B, and the cool thing is that the game adds another layer of gameplay, because you can choose from different characters, so it's really fun switching them. And the game also has this really cool mini game type levels that are called Captain Toad, or where you control Captain Toad, and they're really different. They're almost like a puzzle type levels, where you have to figure it out how to collect a certain number of green stars before the time runs out. And it's pretty clever how they designed those levels, and in fact, I would love to see some DLC content released for that, because the Captain Toad levels are extremely fun, and they really require you to think outside the box, and it's just a fresh addition to the typical Mario platforming gameplay. And just the throwback that this game does is fantastic. If you guys reach World 3-6, you're gonna understand that level. It's a tribute to one of my favorite Mario games from the early 90s. I'm not gonna spoil the surprise for you guys, but again, it's that variation in levels. Each level has something new. Each level has something different. And my example is World 3-6. It's something completely original, completely new, something that I never imagined a Mario game would have. So it's that creativity that I really enjoy. And as far as the graphics go, this game is just fantastic. I mean, for those people out there saying that the Wii U is not next gen, I beg to disagree, because I own both a PlayStation 4 and this game right here looks better than any of the PlayStation 4 games that I've seen so far. And what makes the game look good is the presentation. I mean, it's all about the presentation, just in the same way that the Super Mario Galaxy games for the Wii, they look great, and in fact they look even better than some of the 360 and PlayStation 3 games. And it's all about the art direction. If you're able to combine decent graphics with fantastic art direction, it just it means a whole lot. For me personally, this game looks amazing. It runs a 60 frames per second. It's upscaled to 1080, 1080p, and the levels they just look so good. And I do want to point out that Nintendo, they're becoming really good with the use of lighting effects. Some of the lighting effects in this game are pretty impressive, and we already got to see some of that in games like Nintendo Land, and Pikmin 3 also has some impressive lighting effects. But this game really does make some really good use in certain levels. So overall, yeah, Super Mario 3D World, it's a modern gaming industry masterpiece in my opinion. I've been enjoying this game immensely. I'm not completely done with the game yet, but if you guys own a Wii U, you have to have this game. This is the equivalent of Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, or the equivalent of Super Mario Brothers 3 for the NES. It's a must-have title. And if you don't have a Wii U, consider getting one because of this game. If you enjoy platformers, if you're a fan of Mario, there's tons of fan service. This game is, both great for old school, Mario or Nintendo fans, but also great for newcomers into the series, because the game is just, again, it has that magic touch, that magic effect that games like Super Mario World are able to convey. So yeah, that's it, guys. Mario 3D World for the Wii U, fantastic game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.